Splash art, obviously you just got to see her in the cinematic, but you can kind of see, again, the freeze frame, soak it all in, her as well as her fox standing right next to her. And Blue, you're just so adorable. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. There's a dog at the table.
It's a great dog.
And admittedly, for a good reason. You missed the yawn. I'm sorry, everyone in chat.
Yeah.
But we also have the turnaround and the voice pack to be able to kind of listen to that, and then we can dive more into her lore.
Even the smallest being can alter the course of the future. I once knew a joke, but now, how did it go? Our light encompasses all.
The battle is about to begin.
So I noticed you're missing the long braids, but
Yes.
you know, admittedly, as I have learned with a wife that cosplays, braids on wigs make them obnoxiously heavy. So it's probably for the better right now.
Yeah, Sarah made this headpiece because she's making this full cosplay, I believe, for HRX. She made this in the last 2 days. And it took her like 16 hours to do. So she dedicated a lot of time to get this for me for Patch Note Show. So here's Io.
Yeah.
Where do we
Break her
start?
down.
Where are we starting here?
I'm gonna throw it out. She is a support.
Yes.
And I think like all the stuff, like her health, the abilities we can go into, but just the backstory. Who is Io? Why is she here?
So yeah, if you listen to the lore video right there, Io is essentially, she is the moon goddess, basically the moon herself. And then an unknown corruption collides with the moon and shatters the moon, and obviously because Io is the moon and the moon goddess, shattered along with it. And that's how you have both Io and her fox, Luna. They're essentially the representations of the moon in Paladins, and there's been people that have worshipped this moon goddess Io for eons and eons and eons. And now that the Magistrate has kind of marched onto the moon shards and Shattered Desert and the people of Bazaar, Io has come back to defend her people and take her rightful place as the moon goddess.
And so, as was said, anyone who is a support main, rejoice, because you are getting a new support to be able to come through and play, which I think just on base should be exciting, but I think going into who she is, what she does, is going to be even more impressive. But just going to throw it out there, you see 2,400 in the bottom left. She does have a card right now increasing her health. Her base health is 2,200, and so going to be a support, still on the lower end, a little easier to kill off, but not the weakest champion. Eevee still holds that title.
Yeah, she has standard support health, the normalized 2,200, so she is going to be just as killable as any other support in the game, but obviously you can modify that through a health card.
And you also will be able to modify that through some of the abilities we'll get to later, but the first one that you see obviously might recognize it if you've been playing the game for a long time as well, or at least in essence of what it is, but is the light bow.
This is the light bow. It has no fall off and it fires 400 damage crescent energy basically every 0.6 seconds. So this is support that can obviously not really deal a ton of damage, but it's very consistent chunkiness. So it's the same damage as Maldamba, slightly slower, and it doesn't have the arc. And with no fall off, you can actually do a good amount of assist damage to help secure teams for your kill.
I'd argue it's the scariest kind of damage because it's just low enough that you're not going to register it. But it's, unless you're the one dealing it. Like, you're going to notice if I hit 4 shots, that's 1,600. But if you're getting hit 400 every now and then, you might be able to glance over it. But she comes through, so has a little bit of damage and a little bit of bite to her. And then her alt fire is going to be where her heal is. It's going to be the Moonlight.
Yes, so Moonlight, I was going to hold and channel Moonlight into an ally, healing them for 135 every 0.15 seconds. This is our first healing resource, or our first really resource champion that their entire heal is dedicated on that. So you're going to see, this is a little bit similar to Ceres when you start to aim. So you actually have to look at your target and hit them, and then once you're connected to your ally, you're actually able to get a little bit more leeway to look away, if you just want to move slower instead of fast like that. So connect the heal and look a little bit to the left. You can see that it will, hold on. Anthony, go a little bit slower. Yeah, and you can see you connect to him and then move it slowly to the right until you break it. Now we have to wait for Moonlight to
a little bit
regenerate.
of leeway on either side that you can kind of look around. So it's not precision, but you still have to be in the area.
It's important to note that it's precision to initiate it, so players can select their targets with refinement when a lot's going on. But then you connect to the player and you get a lot more leeway to move left or right. Important to note too, if you actually break that threshold of how far you can turn left or right, you'll reattach if another player is in the area. So you can see it kind of jump here if we get energy filled up a little bit more.
You need that. And that's actually, I guess, the other thing, because you can look at it here.
Yeah.
You have that Moonlight bar.
Yes.
Where it's like you cannot heal if it's empty. So you're going to have to kind of use your heal a little more safely.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to pay attention to this resource.
And the important part about a resource healer, too, is that once you're initiating the heal, you have to retain on it. So a lot of the heals in our game are just like point and click.
Yeah.
I'm going to initiate it, and then I can go immediately to damage. So IO specifically... that's not intentional, so we will get that one fixed. We have a long PTS. We did not mean that. I've never seen that bug. So make sure to play her on PTS and give us your bug reports and feedback. But she is going to have to choose between like sticking and healing on an ally or trying to fight them and use other abilities, because it's not just, okay, I've used my heal, now I can go back to using my other abilities. It's an active choice for the IO player to have to make decisions mid-fight on what's the best course of action.
And there she is in the emote. Now I feel confident being able to go forward with it. I wanted to make sure he wasn't locked out.
Yes.
But we brought Blue onto the show, and not just because it's always awesome to have a puppy come through and be on the show, and though I do know that I'm going to gloat to F. about that later, but it is because Blue was a voice for the game.
Yes, Blue is actually the voice actress for your pet fox, Luna.
Your guardian spirit.
Your guardian spirit. So this ability is called Guardian Spirit. You summon Luna to fight alongside you. She will also rush and stun enemies that have been marked by your light bow every 15 seconds. And then she can be resummoned to a new location every 8 seconds. So this is, oh yeah, that's the death stamp. It's called Grilled, so have fun. So the big thing about this is you know, we wanted to make a pet tamer. Because we don't have a character that actually generates a pet or controls them. But having the pet kind of run wild in our world can get a little bit messy.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to make this specific pet stay in one location when you use it, but feel alive. So you can see we put a lot of effort, and shout outs to the animation and our tech artist who put a lot of effort into Luna to make her feel alive and active, right? She floats, she feels almost like a character, she's very obvious. So this isn't something that players should ignore. I think it's important to note that. Like, her design is based around her both having this channeled heal and also controlling this fox and moving it around. So it's an 18-second cooldown actually to first deploy her, and then when she dies, it's another 18 seconds. But every 8 seconds, you can move her around, which you're seeing Anthony do right now. And
not only are you seeing that, but she's also one of the, I guess, I don't know if it counts as deployable pet, I guess is the best way to word it, but can capture the objective. You can leave Luna on the point.
So part of making this character feel alive is giving her the ability to actually capture objectives, which in playtests has been very interesting. We've had people drop Luna on the point and then go on the siege engine and then go off and fight others. We've seen her just contest, right? Just drop and contest. You know, sometimes you're on those 99.99. Sometimes Luna can buy you that extra time. She has 3,500 health at base, and she does not disappear after time. There's no time limit on Luna. You only have to kill her to get the resummon. She also has out-of-combat healing, so if players stop focusing her, she'll start to regenerate her health. In addition to that, she is affected by Bulldozer. She is a pet similar to Amani's Dragon, which is how we modified what Bulldozer did when Amani released.
Man, this is the year of Bulldozer. Like it went from being like just almost no reason to buy it unless they happen to stack up Inara, Barrack, and Ying on one team to that item is 100% worthwhile coming through here, and I think that's going to be interesting because, like you said, cooldown is very large if it does die off. So as the Luna player, or as the IO player, you have to keep track of your health bar, not only yours, not only your teammates, but also wherever you happen to leave your pet.
And can we actually take a look at Luna's attacks? I don't think I mentioned it, but she actually has an attack chain. So it's a light, heavy attack chain. So it's a little bit of damage into a hard hit at the end. What's really cool that I like about this is that she has a little bit of intelligent tech with her, that she will actually focus the player that Luna has that Io has marked last. So you can see the stun is also only initiated through this, and it has a 15-second timer. You have a quick little glance at the bottom left hand of your screen. We have a Luna icon that's really just there for you to glance and see the cooldown. You see once it comes up, it flashes. The player on the receiving end of this gets a very unique tell. They have like a Grumpy Bomb style indicator, so we want to make it obvious to players. And you're just going to be moving Luna around through the world. You could see this aura. We haven't mentioned this aura around her. This is actually her first talent. So the first talent, her default lifelink, actually grants an AoE healing aura.
Yeah.
So that's why you're seeing that aura. It won't be there by default.
Yeah, so that's going to be something that you can choose or change.
I love
Of course, I think everything already in this kit, I'm going to say that this is very, very heavy. Like, the players that are like cognizant are going to be so amazing. Like, I'm excited for IO highlights because I want to see what is going to be accomplished with her.
That's one of the big things I wanted to bring into this champion specifically, is I wanted it to feel like a player could jump in and play IO and it feel easy, and they feel effective, right? Like, look at an ally, hold the heal. You are attached to them. You get a little bit more leniency on left or right. You can kind of wave over your allies and switch targets, very friendly, but you can also disengage the heal and then re-engage because it goes back to that direct trace, and so you can be really accurate in the middle of team fights if you're that skilled on who you want to heal. And then Luna, as by nature, right, you just place her and she can be useful. She's going to attack people. She'll heal allies if you're using that talent, but really good players can be intelligent with her, like hide her around corners, move her. We actually have one of our better players in our playtest was playing a very interesting flank IO style, where what he would do is he would actually place Luna behind a wall, and then he would actually be fighting people and mark them, and then move Luna to them, so once Luna got to the location, they would immediately initiate the stun. So there's a lot of small, intricate things you can do, and I think at base, you're just going to have this thing be able to aid your team naturally.
And that... she just blows it out of the park. Like, this is amazing already. And again, there's still 2 more abilities. One of them, admittedly, compared to the rest of the kit, there's not as much that you need to know about it, and that is actually the next one. The Lunar Leap, it's a backflip. It's a get me out of here, I need to be safe.
So this actually, this ability doesn't do any like damage or effect. This is strictly an ability for you to get away quickly. She has a number of cards with this. You can see the shield on top of it.
Yeah.
And I think we have the Skywalker card equipped right there too. So there's a card that actually, as you're firing your light bow, you get reduced gravity and air control. So if you want to attach, can we just attach rank 5 of Skywalker? And then this is going to reduce your gravity by a lot.
So you can stay up.
You're going to be able to carry that momentum a very, very long way.
There it is.
There it is.
You're still going.
Yep.
And, you know, on Bazaar, there's not as much, I want to say, high ground. Like, right there, I think it's more noticeable, but, like, when you're looking at a map like, let's say, Timber Mill, even though it's getting, I think, taken out of the ranked rotation, like, you're playing this in casuals, you just backflip from building to building. Like, you're just all of a sudden on the other side of the map.
And you're going to be pretty vulnerable, right? So I think a lot of people have been more experimenting with this at 1 or 2 points. The big point is, like, with your backflip, you can carry your momentum a little bit, get further away, reposition yourself, control yourself around corners. And this is important to note, this card only works while firing, right? So there's a limited time that Io is going to be up there. She can't just sit in the air. There's also a card that does this with her heal as well. It's called Moonwalk. So you can be healing, backflip, and then also just continue to heal while carrying your momentum and flying through the sky.
So a lot of stuff that, like you said, can kind of augment this Lunar Leap to make it more than just a Lunar Leap. It can be a little more.
Yeah, and you also don't interrupt your heal when you Lunar Leap. So if Anthony, if you can show just if you're healing someone and then you backflip, you can continue healing them. I think that's very important to not break her heal in that instance.
So that way you can still disengage but be effective in the fight. Like, you're not taking yourself out of the fight fully. You're still going to have some
And we're not
impact.
kicking you to 3P either. So you can kind of get that, like, I'm doing this backwards fade away, like firing my bow or healing an ally.
Again, the montages.
This is Champion the Montage.
Champion the Montage.
Or Montage the Champion. I reversed that.
And now we have one more. You can see in the bottom right of the screen, the ultimate and it's called Be Gone.
Be Gone. IO projects an ethereal manifestation of Luna. Sends it forward. Enemies caught will be pulled along the travel path, and they'll take 800 damage when it collides with the wall. So this ability can actually ride both the ground and ramps, which is an important part of it. We were kind of looking like, what did we not have in an ultimate, and we really didn't have anything that carried players for a support, right? We have Genos that's like line beam damage. We have Ceres that's like deployable, pull players in. We have Maldamba Sphere that's like
push players
out, but we don't have like grab and reposition. And so we've had a number of very interesting play tests with this ability, right? This is an ability that can strengthen depending on map, right? You can like fire people off edges. I know Rafe actually, I've seen him do some really nasty stuff on Fish Market as players are trying to push. So this is an ability that has, I think, a wide range of uses.
Yeah, and kind of like, it's a weird way to describe it, but if you want to, like, anytime that you would have seen a Torvald ult that could be effective, this can kind of hit the same place. It's a little harder to connect, but also a little easier to connect at the same time. So again, riding that thin line of awesome.
And you have full control of positioning toast, so you can fire it, and then it doesn't actually fire, so you can re-aim after you've started the channel if you would like to.
Okay.
If we can, I don't know if Anthony showed that off already. Yeah, so you can reposition, doesn't fire until you actually launch it. You can ride up ramps. Can you actually ride it up one of the ramps there, Anthony, too? Oh, it's so good.
So I'm already, again, I'm seeing a backflip 360 ult push kill 5 people. Like if you manage that play at any point, either on PTS or on live, I want to see it. Like I want clips.
I'm very, very happy with how this champion has come out, and I really want to give another shout out to like our animation, VFX, and tech art team specifically. Like they put a lot of work into refining this, right? Like the VFX are amazing. I love moving Lunar around. Her stun feels fluid. She actually, I don't know if we saw it, but Luna's stun actually does like she stuns the player and then actually does a backflip animation kickoff, and then like travels back into the wisp form. Just moving her around feels super fluid. And I think we have a number of cards too that let you. We tried to get a play your way style into it.
And I forgot I had more I needed to talk about because we haven't even talked about the talents.
I've been really forgotten about. I have been anxious about this character for so long, just wanting to show her off.
It's just, there's just so many cool things in all of the abilities that it's fun to be able to dive in depth with them. But there is still more that we have to cover with her. And that is, like you said, default is this lifelink talent, which is the AoE heal.
Yes, so it's 300 health per second AoE heal. It's, I believe, a 20 or 30 foot radius, so much significantly smaller than Grover, but has the same properties that it's going to go through wall. But players need to be obviously much closer to IO, or I'm sorry, the Luna to receive that benefit.
And then the next talent, the one that you would unlock at level 2, is going to be called Goddess's Blessing.
Yeah, so we have the AoE heal talent, and then we really wanted a pocket. I wanted a pocket talent that allowed players to be like, okay, I'm going to just like benefit this one person. So Goddess's Blessing, allies being healed by Moonlight receive 15% reduced damage. We also have a card that increases allies being healed movement speed, so I think there's some cool combos to do that. So really, if you have like one primary tank that you're trying to keep alive, you can sit there and channel not only healing to them, but also damage reduction. So that's a very strong combination.
You thought Inara was hard to kill before.
Yeah.
Let's see how she does now.
Here's a Cassie getting healed. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see like the difference in how much those arrows are chunking with and without the heal. But then coming forward, there's one more talent at level 8 called Sacrifice.
Yeah, and then we wanted a little bit of a greedy talent for Io herself. We wanted something that allowed her to stay alive. In situations like, oh, I'm against multiple flanks, I want to get dove a lot. How do I stay alive? So Sacrifice, if Io falls below 200 health while Luna is active, she has to be active. She trades places with Luna, heals, and Luna dies in her stead. It's the saddest talent, but it's really good
and incredibly selfish.
Also, don't know me, Anthony. I will say it is some of the it's a very sad death sound of the fox. It is very sad. I hope you all get attached to Luna.
Well, hey, you know what?
No one's gonna play this.
That works even better.
Talent
because now people like. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hurt the fox. So they're going to be like, well, I mean, we're just Luna. We're not going to do it. Like we can't kill Luna. Sorry guys. Like, we're just gonna,
you're going to spray your own Luna's death. Yeah, so Sacrifice, it's got a 60-second internal cooldown, too, so this is not going to happen every time.
Yeah.
And then when she trade places, she can heal. For players that are looking for counters for this, she's got that delay. You're going to be able to see where she goes, so you get a little bit of read on it. Again, like, there's a lot of strategies with how to play, I think, Io, right? So, like, Sacrifice, like, hiding Luna in a room, so in case a flank ganks you, right? Because you're not going to get that AoE heal, but you still have powerful in-hands, you have powerful heal. You can bring Luna into stun players, and then, like, if she's off to the side, you can trade places with her when you would take a killing blow, basically.
And keeps you alive, keeps you safe.
Yes.
But again, like you said, it's a little more selfish overall. And it's perfect because you have the AoE heal, like I'm going to be your healer. You've got the pocket, I'm going to keep my tank alive. And you've got the, I don't care about you guys. I'm keeping me alive.
Yeah,
like,
this was actually the
you guys
talent.
Get out of here.
This was actually the talent that one of our better players on our playtest was using for the flank IO. Which was pretty effective. You had to really think about it.
I can imagine. Like,
it took me a second. I'm like, oh man, he's really using that the Sacrifice talent. He's making good use of it, right? You kind of have to play around Io a little bit differently when she has that.
It's gonna be fun to see. Again, all I can think of now is just the amount of plays that Io can make. Like, there's so many cool ones. And again, like you said earlier, on paper, like you initially play Io, everything works the way it's intended. It's like a textbook. Right on there on paper, then it gets more in depth as you learn more about it. And we do also have, I think, some of the recolors, like the Mastery skin that came through.
This is our golden skin.
Oh, that looks really good. I'm distracted by her headdress and, well, Luna.
Golden Luna too. That's what I like about this. Yeah.
Screams, look at me. But, I mean, coming forward again, I guess we looked at some of the golden skins earlier. Now we can see it in-game. Golden Luna looks awesome.
Yeah.
She's shiny.
This is one of my favorite golden skins. I'm also incredibly biased because this is my first champion. But
I don't think.
What a coincidence.
this is my favorite champion. It's the best. The greatest champion ever made. That's what I said in the office until people got annoyed with me.
I mean, I talked about it a little bit online, but Io just as a character concept for us, we always land somewhere good, but she just kind of came together so quickly. It was kind of crazy. We just hit a sketch, and the group looked at it. We're like, yeah, well, that's Io. We're making this. Just go.
Yeah, just go.
This is also the first champion that we've been able to show our AOC from like initial concept and like
all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through, and they love her. So.
And I believe that's the recolor there.
Yeah, this is a recolor.
Feral Io.
Feral Io. I love
an orange look.
I was gonna say orange and blue it's another color combination that almost it never fails.
Yep.
And then
this is the season pass recolor.
Season pass.
Yeah.
So very much in line with like the Amani skins and the others that have come out.
Yeah. This is Starfall, only available in the season pass, so limited to players who purchase it. This is actually I really love this skin a lot.
Matches.
I forgot I'm in this headset.
I couldn't tell.